How's it going, everybody? Tiny Sights Shadow Games Report. Doing part 8 of Destiny 2 tonight. Got some smooth jazz hop to get us started for today. Just wanted to make today's video a little bit different. I was thinking about, I don't know, just adding something new to the channel. I was thinking about doing some drawing, because I kind of wanted to mix like the whole idea of, I guess, all of these occult symbols that have been talked more and more about recently with the topics of cults and occult knowledge coming to the forefront of human knowledge. I feel like we're getting to a point of where we're actually sharing what used to be considered forbidden knowledge. So it's just, I don't know, it's also my way of wanting to explore, like, well, what made them, I guess, pick certain symbols, what made them want to, I guess, just worship these particular items. And I know some people have different beliefs. They think that they might have magical capabilities. Uh, I honestly think it's just more of a spiritual significance of sorts, where someone will just apply meaning to a certain symbol and give it some type of heightened value. But I mean, if it helps you cope with whatever's going on in your day, if that's, your personal magic that helps you get through something, then I'm all for it. Because that's where I like to see some of the utility of certain things if they don't have a very well, I don't know, just a very good explanation for why they exist. It was one thing that was always confusing to me growing up, was trying to understand why certain symbols did exist and why it was so important to certain people. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me, like why someone would bow down to a certain object or symbol or anything really. Relics, whatever. Yeah. One thing I think that's kind of interesting about the whole Destiny series is all of the um, geometrical type shapes that kind of go into a lot of the artwork. Um, it's a very beautiful universe that they created, and I just think it's important to understand why certain things exist. And I'm not telling anybody, to find a symbol and worship it or whatever. I'm just more or less just exploring the whole concept of it, and why. I guess why is it there? All right. So since I am being a little bit more creative, I was actually not even going to do the news today. So I'm actually kind of like, I'm like curious, like, where the hell am I even going with this show today? Because I mean, I normally do the news and then I normally do the game right after. But I don't know, I guess we can kind of sneak it in with the topic. We're being experimental right now. So bear with me. All right, let me get this off the screen and let's go ahead. Jump on into what got my mind buzzing a little bit towards some of this lately. I've also had a lot more interest in, I guess, spiritual symbolism over the past few years. Um, Trying to, I guess, apply some type of heightened meaning for my own life. Uh, I think it's important for a lot of people just to continue on through life, to have some type of meaningful value in something that makes them want to keep going every single day. And some people, I guess, are pleased by or satisfied by just by trolling other people. Some people are satisfied by trying to create some type of value within their short existence on this planet. Where you try to produce something that other people can actually use and utilize and actually try to uh, just grow and span human knowledge. Now, I normally don't teach a lot of new things on this show. I more or less will, I guess, discover things for myself, and then you're kind of along for the ride. But if we discover something new along the way, which I often do, I tend to point it out. And I mean, if it's only new to me, I'm sorry. Sometimes it is that way. Sometimes you've already experienced something that I haven't experienced. But if I show you something new, just be willing to want to learn something new yourself, maybe. All right, let me jump over to this guy. Yeah, I want to cover this real quick just because I think it's kind of interesting. Uncommon Sense post this. You mean to tell me OJ's housekeeper was an Israeli member of the IDF? Absolutely hated his German wife, Nicole. Was never interviewed as a suspect and was completely blacked out from the media? How very interesting. But that's not what we're going to discuss for the moment. I thought I had something else pulled up for these symbols. Maybe I can jump into that. All right.
Here, let me show you where I found it, since you like books. I come across this gem in my wanderings, and it literally shows everything. That's your sheriff's department. These guys became the military with all of their insignias and whatnot. There's your Wizard of Oz tent. There's your Turkish turban. When you look at it in a different sense, it's a Turkish turban. Everything had to do with horses. And who controlled the horses? The Huns and the Khans and the Turks. The Asians. The white Asians from Central Turkish. The 7 pillars. 7 churches in the Bible are from Turkey. Turkey's where Constantinople was. The Wizard of Oz. See, that's Turkish. That's right on the Turkish flag, the crescent moon and the star. It goes right back into their symbolism. These are the female versions. They put flowers. The keys, the swords, right there it is. Right in a barrette. It always ties to the horse. The horsemen. The goddamn Norsemen. The horsemen became the Khans became the horsemen. The horsemen became the Norsemen. The Norsemen became who came over and took every fucking thing. They're obsessed with cats and owls. Right there, the Knights of the Pythias. The Gar. Fraternal Order of the Eagles. Your Woodsmen. The Oddfellows. Let's name them all. And then I said, hey, who's Benji Allen? And let's find out who he's about. Because see, this is where all this came in. These are your military medals. The mystic shrine of the real tiger. Right there. Fuck these guys. Right there. There's all your stars. Here's all your symbolism. I mean, what more does anybody need to see? Your 3-ring circus. Your builders. All stemming from the tribes of Israel. The Knights of the Maccabees. Huh? Let's talk about this shit. Everybody just wants to run one fucking thing. I got their whole playbook right here. It's all in their symbolism, all over their fucking buildings, all in their paperwork, all in their corporate logos. Because it's the logos. They took the human DNA pattern and synthesized it. Back over here. Here you got your woodsman. You see how it collectively grew from that to this. They started getting more members and saying, "Hey, come join our club, and you can get a button." Right? How many times have you seen that? That comes straight from ISIS and the Egyptian, right? This is all your skilled labor. This is all your tradesmen. This is all your union. Your blue collar, your workforce that are enslaved to money. They make you think it's good. The owls are evil. The natives said so. Boom. Don't forget about the railroads and electrical engineers.
The owls
It's
are
just like
drones.
Boy Scouts. Where's your merit badge?
The birds aren't real. They're drones. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe owls. I mean, they have big eyes. Maybe those are cameras. It makes sense, right? Makes sense in conspiracy land. You got any other cool conspiracies? Let's look up some more occult symbolism, because I know X is full of it now. You really can't get away from it. Let's see. Cult symbolism. Well, even Target's logo has a dark secret. Does it? I don't know. Let's watch this first.
You have a Pentagon that has billions of dollars that they hide. We don't ask for any accounting of. They never pass an audit in the history of audits. I've often said the only way we're really going to get to the bottom of this is somebody's going to walk out of one of these labs with this information and puts it out on the internet before they commit suicide by shooting themselves in the back of the head 5 times. You have a Pentagon that has billions of dollars that they hide. We don't ask for any accounting of. They never pass an audit in the history of audits. I've often said the only way we're really going to get to the bottom of this.
I think I covered this yesterday. Venezuela appears to be gearing up for a potential war with the United States, deploying 50,000 troops to its border as American warships draw near. Washington has branded President Nicolas Maduro a terrorist and a cartel kingpin. Venezuelan officials say the troops will be backed by aircraft, boats, and drones to secure the border against any breach. Yeah, I think Trump should stop. What's a chavista? I haven't even heard that one before. What's a chavista? Let's ask Grok real quick. What's a chavista?
Target, the symbol of this, the dot in the circle, is known as the circumpunct, one of the most ancient symbols on the planet. I posted this and everyone lost their minds. They're like, it's just a target. It's named Target, not knowing that there's an exoteric and an esoteric. But to the initiates, they know that this is the circumpunct. This is a Freemasonic symbol that we see at Target. Target, the symbol of this,
Chavez,
the dot in the
Chavista.
circle is...
Oh shit, I'm gonna do that. Oh. So apparently Target is a cult as well. I didn't even know that one. This guy, I think I've actually covered some of his stuff before. I think he likes to do a lot of occult symbolism and stuff. Full episode now, everywhere in occult symbolism and pop culture podcast. Isaac Wishop. Is that how you say it? Is there a hidden message in the Golden Age symbolism? Let's see what it says.
Anyway, my point is, this particular trophy from 2025 was inspired by the NASA Voyager mission. All right? Because the NASA Voyager mission, they sent some golden plates out into space that told the aliens who we are and what we are and how we're about that life or whatever, right? The Voyager mission was actually sent out to, you guessed it, Saturn. That's right, with the golden records. Now, recall how I was going on and on back in January, February about the Golden Age stuff, right? Remember that? Because there was all this language and symbolism and words about the Golden Age. And I said, this is all part of the process of timing the cycles of mankind by the elites. And the idea here is that gold is the recurring theme. The trophy's obviously made of gold. You got the golden records. It's going out to Saturn. And when you combine all that together, you've got supercharged alchemy. And of course, the FIFA trophy looks kind of like Saturn. It's a circle with some rings around it. Anyway, my point is, this particular trophy from 2025 was inspired by the NASA Voyager mission. All right? Because the NASA Voyager mission, they sent some golden plates out into space that told the aliens who we are and what we are and how we're about that life or whatever, right? The Voyager mission was actually sent out to
Occult means hidden. Is esoteric symbolism considered evil simply because of how it is used? Knowledge is power. Those who control it shape perception, belief, and reality. These two symbolic diagrams, ancient and modern, reveal the divine, the soul's journey, and the structure of existence. Do they also expose hidden power within us? One that could disrupt societal hierarchies and so must remain concealed. Were these mystical teachings suppressed to keep humanity ignorant of its divine potential? If every person realized their God-given power, would they still submit to religious, political, or societal authority? Symbols are the language of the mysteries. Those who see do not speak. Those who speak do not see. What we got going on here? All right. So I'm not trying to conjure anything, guys. I'm just reading. So I already see this. What is it called? Seal of Solomon or Star of David, some might say. There it is again. What the hell? What were they doing with this chart? Animal seed, water, heavenly seed, air, mineral seed. So some of it's in English. Nature, first matter, Infinite Eternity and a Noah. I guess it's cut off a bit. Kind of want to reshare that. It's kind of interesting. Page Master, Occult Symbolism in Children's Movies. Do I want to? I don't know that Actually, I kind of want to watch that movie again. That movie was kind of neat for its time. No, I don't know of any occult stuff in it, but I'm sure there probably is because it's, what was it, Disney, I think, that made it. It's a pretty cool movie, though, if I remember right. Why is my internet all junky today? Bunch of junkies, man.
Pagemaster came off as a childlike movie, but it's really a setup, okay? This is the chosen child archetype. Richard, Macaulay Culkin, is terrified of everything, a timid child afraid of storms, danger, and life itself. Symbolically, he's a blank slate initiate. In occult language, that's the neophyte, the one ready to be shaped by forces beyond his comprehension. But let's keep going. Richard doesn't just read books, he gets swallowed by them, swallowed up. Pulled into their astral world, adventure, horror, fantasy. They're not genres, they're embodied spirits. Each book comes alive as a trickster guide, like a familiar spirit attached to a magician. They lead him through a gauntlet of monsters, trials, and symbolic deaths. All right, this is a classic occult initiation journey. Fear, facing demons, dragons, haunted castles, courage, confronting chaos, survival tests, transcendence. Right, this is the fantasy aspect, the dragon slayer. Hero archetype, rebirth. It's basically a child-friendly Dante's Inferno, right? Where he must descend into symbolic hell before earning his transformation. Now let's talk about the library. That's symbolic for a temple. The entire library isn't just a setting, it's a ritual space. Think about it. A storm drives him there, right? Symbolic of divine calling. The Page Master sits at the center like a hierophant. The labyrinth of books, the astral plane. Richard's journey is the initiation ritual disguised as imagination. Now check this out though. By the end, he's no longer afraid because fear has been ritually purged from him through these spirit guides. This is the trial, right? Breaking the illusion of the demiurge. Now, where is the hidden symbolic demonic layer? On the surface, reading is good for sure. Right? Books will make you brave. Underneath it all, submit to archetypal forces, let them possess you, undergo symbolic death, and you'll be reborn. That's textbook occult initiation. They just dressed it up as demons, right? And, to become talking books, and they made it PG. In other words, Richard is not just reading, he's channeling and summoning and being shaped by mythic entities, okay? So the Page Master itself was more than just a kid's imagination movie, for sure. It's the story of a child undergoing occult initiation through archetypal possession, masked as literacy propaganda. Do you understand? So instead of handing kids Ouija boards, Hollywood handed them VHS tapes, right? The ritual was hidden in plain sight. Don't be afraid. The spirits are here to guide you. And this is exactly what they try to teach you with Ouija boards and many other occult practices. I'm going to be getting back into a lot of these movies and TV shows and their hidden symbolic agenda. Here's the beautiful thing about the art form. There's no wrong perspective. Real art should channel many.
Lots of speculation, even mentioned, I think, from Anna Paulina Luna recently on Rogan's podcast, that, and I can't remember if exactly she said it, but I know that it has been said quite a few times, especially towards, I guess, any type of relationship with the Montauk Project. I guess the project that Stranger Things is based on. I don't know if I covered that on this channel, actually. Maybe I should cover that real quick. Let's do it, guys. Let's go all out tonight. I think I covered it. So it looks like Rogan's already touched on this one too. This is the video that I watched. Let's go and watch this one. And I guess just to finish what I was going to say, there's also some bad. I hate this horror crap that they do on TikTok or whatever. I don't know what it's from, but it's added to like so many horror type videos or just scary type videos that it's just kind of strange. I don't know. Anyways, um, so there's a theory that the some of these interdimensional beings that have been talked about some lately are different characters, whether they're alien or just maybe humans from the future or maybe even something completely different. It's been talked about, and I guess one thing that had been discussed a lot lately is the possibility that maybe they use humans as vessels, to do their own bidding. And we've always heard throughout our lives that maybe there's a possibility that spirits can possess other people and make them do certain things. Well, I'm not saying this is exactly that, but it does start to kind of brush the surface of that. If anybody has watches the Stranger Things series, you know what I'm talking about. Um, and it just so happens that this is based on a real story of sorts. Now, there's going to be some fiction added into the series just for filler, but you never know how realistic they tried to keep the story. But it's obvious that a lot of people do know enough about this story to want to make a series out of it. And one thing that's also really cool about Stranger Things, one of the episodes they end up going to like Russia, and it just so happens that Russia has like these interdimensional type portals there as well, and they're capable of like summoning a lot of the same type of darkness. I don't want to give a lot away if you haven't seen the series, but yeah, we'll get to that here in a second, just because it kind of correlates a little bit. I'm going extra conspiratorial tonight, just for fun. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different from just being so focused on the news, just because, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like we're really getting too far with, I don't know, things that a lot of MAGA's base was asking from Trump. And I'm not necessarily even MAGA. I was just more or less, I guess, a supporter of the movement. But as MAGA seems to be kind of like winding down at this point, um, and I only say that because I haven't seen too many special, extra, meaningful results from Trump's presidency so far. And I really want to see those things, but, you know, we're not going to focus on those things tonight. But I just really want to get away from it just because it's just nasty at this point. It's just like watching every single day him go back and forth between, one thing that he promised and, doing a 180 and doing something completely different. And it's just strange that we have to do this with our own president, someone that said he was fighting for the people and he'd never betray us and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know. It starts to make you kind of wonder. It's like, okay, is this dude lying to me? All right, let's start this. Okay, so I guess I should probably read this off. And maybe I should just read it off anyways, because it's got that stupid crap in the background. Stranger Things was inspired by a real story. Watch till the end, it gets darker. I wonder if this video is made by Grok. It's got this symbol at the bottom. Remember, we're paying attention to symbols today. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that symbol on the bottom of the screen? Oh, you can't. Okay, well, let me move this real quick. You see that? I'm talking about right at the bottom of the screen, right there. Looks like the Grok symbol. Remember, we're paying attention to symbols today. Stranger Things was inspired by a real story. Watch till the end, it gets darker. I don't want to listen to that. I'm just going to zoom ahead on the bar. Stranger Things is based on a true story. The government denies it, but the photos exist. Before the show, there was the Montauk Project, a series of secret experiments on children to create mind control weapons. They say kids were abducted and brought to Camp Hero. Some had no memory when they escaped. Others were never found. The goal to unlock psychic abilities, open portals, and create invisible soldiers. Sound familiar? The show Stranger Things was originally titled Montauk. It's not fiction, it's disguised. Sound familiar? The show Stranger Things was originally titled Montauk. It's not fiction, it's disguised. Already said that. People who worked there said things got out of control. Something came through and it wasn't human. The government shut it down, but locals still report weird signals and power surges. This is the edited version. The original was removed. These are the real photos they didn't want you to see. And I guess this is a book. I kind of want to check it out. The Montauk Project Experiments in Time. It says Preston. Is it Preston Nicholas? Preston Nichols, maybe? I can't read it because the symbol's in the way, but there's one other thing here at the back. I don't know what this is from. It says, Welcome to Montauk, settled 1660. I don't know if this is like a Stranger Things meme or what, but it's interesting. It has this creature off to the side, and it looks just like the creature from Stranger Things. So, kind of curious. I'm also curious. It seemed like Stranger Things was in a different location than Montauk, but I don't remember what city they were in. Maybe I should look that up real quick. Maybe I should also even verify this with Grok, just to be even surer. Human trafficking x-ray taken by U.S. Mexican Border Patrol. I don't know why they added that music. That's kind of weird. Alex Jones' son, says it's coming. Multiple shows a week. Morning streams from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So interesting. I don't know if this is going to be the same show because it looks like they're going to have an early morning show from 6:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. So an hour and a half. I don't know. Is Rex going to do that show? It's kind of strange. Full show, Tomorrow's News tonight, every Sunday, 6, I guess, p.m., I would assume, because it says tomorrow's news tonight. Interesting. So is Chase going to have 2 shows? I think Tomorrow's News tonight was going to be Chase's show, but I don't know. I'm getting lost in it now. Fed Governor Cook says President Trump has no authority to fire her and that she will not resign. That was from yesterday. Let's see if there's any update on that. Where's Grok at? I don't see Grok anymore. Why is Grok not popping up right here? Grok? The hell, bro? Okay, actually, I want to read this too real quick. I asked, is Stranger Things based on the Montauk Project? No, Stranger Things is not directly based on the Montauk Project, but it was inspired by it. Oh, okay. The Duffer Brothers, the creators of the series, have acknowledged that the Montauk Project served as a conceptual influence, particularly in the early stages of development. When the show was initially titled Montauk, the series incorporates elements of 1980s nostalgia, supernatural themes, and conspiracy theories, including the Montauk Project, but it is fundamentally a work of fiction. The Montauk Project itself is a conspiracy theory lacking credible evidence involving alleged government experiments on mind control and time travel at Camp Hero in Montauk, New York. While Stranger Things draws on this other other cultural references, it diverges significantly in its narrative and character development, focusing on a fictional town in Indiana rather than Montauk. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I don't think it's in Montauk. I feel like I would have remembered that. Oh, yeah. Alex Jones was going off on a rant, or was that? Yeah, that was yesterday. He's basically saying whenever the indictments come, he wants everybody's apologies. It's worth
If
it.
we're all doomed and it's all over, go drink fluoride, even though we're pulling it out of the water. Go take your shot. This isn't for you. This broadcast isn't about saying we're all doomed. It's like in Lord of the Rings when Sauron and his people come to attack the Minas Tirith, and you've got the head keeper steward. There hadn't been a king for generations. They go, hey, the king's back, and we've got an army, and we're ready to fight. He goes, no, we're all doomed. Take me to my tomb. And he pours oil on himself, gasoline. He's like, light me on fire. It's all over. This is the Patriot movement right now, pouring gasoline on itself. We've all lost. It's all over. Let's burn ourselves up. Trump's bringing in martial law. The Democrats, the Gavin Newsom will save us. We must burn ourselves up. We must. There's no hope. We're losing. Everything's over. Bury this madness! No, we're losing. It's over. Give up. It's all over. Patriots aren't winning elections everywhere. We're doomed to fail. No. No indictments ever. Nothing's happening. Sir Parsons Dennis, son of a
I swear, like he turns on Lord of the Rings like 3 times a week.
The stuff being sent out,
3 or 4.
the grand juries, the Democrats in total shit themselves mode. And I come on air and I tell you this is going on, and half the audience just says we're screwed. We don't want to hear it. Great. When the indictments come, I want all of your apologies. Okay.
There's a theory out there that the Trumps are actually time travelers. And it all starts with Nikola Tesla. When Tesla died in 1943, he had over 80 trunks full of secret inventions, scientific papers, and wild futuristic ideas. The US government rushed to secure his belongings. But guess who they sent to examine all of it? Trumpin, MIT physicist, and Donald Trump's uncle. Now here's where it gets strange. Some believe that John G. Trump didn't just inspect Tesla's work, he took some of it. And among Tesla's claims, he supposedly figured out how to manipulate time. So the theory goes, Trump used Tesla's ideas to create a time machine, which the Trump family may have used. Fast forward to another weird piece of the puzzle, a book from 1893 called Baron Trump's Marvelous...
Okay, thank you, Rogan. I was actually about to go find a different video that was related directly to this, but he automatically just jumps right to it. This is interesting. I didn't even know that Project Montauk was related in any type of way, but I don't know, maybe we should finish the video first.
Underground journey. The main character, a boy named Baron Trump who discovers portals and travels through time. The coincidences are wild same last name, same spelling of Baron, and themes of time travel and alternate dimensions. Add all this up, and some people believe the Trumps have been bending time for generations. Is it real? Who knows? But it definitely makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder. We'll find a video that gets a little bit more deeper into some of that in just a second.
Your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. We're done turning the other cheek. Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can fuck off to any of the 57 Muslim nations. There is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
Gave my brothers a drink up, did everything but gave up. Stabbed my back, I came front. Still we win, we prayed up. Even when we die, we raise up. Ain't no want, no we need it.
Valentina Gomez, everyone. Massive Trump's FBI just settled with 10 whistleblowers who were illegally targeted by the deep state. They were silenced, suspended, bankrupted. Now they are being reinstated with back pay, security clearances, and public vindication. That's good. 10 whistleblowers, full settlements, back pay, security clearances restored, reinstatement. These whistleblowers risked everything to expose corruption at the FBI. What did Biden's DOJ do? Suspended their pay, stripped their clearance, blocked their illegal appeals, starved them into resignation. Total lawless retaliation. Senator Chuck Grassley sounded the alarm. The FBI intentionally delayed the appeals process, suspended their pay, and made it impossible for them to work again. This wasn't oversight, it was punishment for telling the truth. Inspector General Michael Horowitz confirmed whistleblowers with security clearances are especially vulnerable. Why? Because the process is rigged. No due process, no recourse, no way to work without clearance. This is by design. It gets worse. The FBI Agents Association just revealed agents are being fired without due process for doing their jobs. Even senior leaders aren't safe. The message, obey the deep state or be destroyed. No wonder they got away with so much. But under Trump's leadership, the tide is turning. The whistleblower settlement is just the beginning. The dam is breaking. The deep state is cracking. Justice is coming. Trump and Patel are restoring the rule of law. Deep state tried to crush whistleblowers. Trump made them whole. Cool. Well, I've read enough of the same thing over and over to get it. I'm not covering Tom from MySpace. Such a boring dude, but it was kind of interesting. This is Tom Anderson. At 35 years old, he sold MySpace for $580 million. Then he bizarrely vanished. Here's his story. Go watch the video if you want to. I'm not gonna. He's also got a thread with other videos below it. Florida's Attorney General calls on Trump administration to investigate, revoke CDL programs, and cut funding to California, Washington, and any state that allows criminal aliens to obtain licenses.
Our office is calling on the federal government, the United States Department of Transportation, to revoke CDL programs in California and Washington. If the federal government identifies systematic abuse of these programs and allowing illegal aliens, perhaps even encouraging illegal aliens to obtain these licenses. And if other states like New Jersey and others are engaging in similar practice, then those programs should be revoked as well, and any funding tied to it should also be revoked. Thank God we've got a president that is restoring law and order, that has secured the border.
Yo, to anyone who's deep in the rabbit hole, bro, buckle up, bro, because this shit is absolutely insane. So, I took some notes here, so I remember what to say. So, in 1893, this guy named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a 3-part book series, right? The first one is called Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. The second one is called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And the third one is called The Last President, all right? In the first book, Little Baron Trump lives in Trump Castle in Germany, and he finds a manuscript by a man named Don Fum that leads to underground tunnels in Russia that have portals to other dimensions, okay? The first 2 books are just about Baron Trump and his dog, like, exploring all these weird dimensions, right? But this is where it really gets weird, bro. In the third book, The Last President, Don Fum uses these portals to become a controversial president who lives on 5th Avenue in New York. And he basically ruins the price of gold and is super controversial and ruins everything. His vice president's name is Pence, bro. That shit is absolutely crazy, but it gets even crazier, bro. Ingersoll Lockwood lived on the exact same street as Nikola Tesla when he wrote this book series. At the very same time that he was living on this street with Nikola Tesla was claiming that he invented time travel. Like, he deadass was saying, I'm about to make freaking time traveling portals and we're about to do it. And a little bit after, he mysteriously dies in a hotel, and all of his blueprints, all of his inventions are in this hotel when he dies. Guess who gets sent, along with the CIA, to pick up his blueprints? John G. Trump, Trump's literal blood uncle, bruh. Think about it, bro. It gets even deeper, though. Werner von Braun, Nazi scientist, by the way, founder of NASA, wrote a book called Project Mars in 1953 about a man named Elon who takes everyone to Mars. The founder of NASA. And now Trump and Tesla are working together. They got space and time. Think about it, 5th Avenue right by Times Square. I'm telling you, dog, this shit is a simulation, bro.
I feel like he's probably like 20, but at the same time, for some reason I believe him. This dude talks about the same thing. One thing I thought that was kind of interesting about this whole story was the underground areas or cities beneath Russia that it was mentioned, and there being these creatures that are down there. I don't know if they're interdimensional creatures or if they're reptilians. I haven't necessarily read the book or anything. I don't know. Maybe I need to go read the book. there any audiobooks online of that book? What is it, Baron Trump's Great Adventure or something like that? Let's just look it up right now. Let's see, what is it called? Underground. I don't know, let's go put adventure. 1893, Baron Trump, The Time Traveler book by Ingersoll Lockwood. Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey is about a prince from Castle Trump who time travels and goes on a journey under the direction of a man named Don, the Master of Masters.
They say art imitates life, but in this case, is art a prophecy? Author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a series of books over 100 years ago about a super rich kid named Baron Trump. One of the books is titled Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The fantasy book tells the tale of a boy named Baron Trump, who of course makes his home in Castle Trump. The narrator of the story is a guy by the name of Don. The book supposedly tells the tale of Don, the Master of Masters, taking young Baron through a time-traveling portal to Russia. The last pamphlet written by Lockwood is entitled The Last President, which takes place in New York City and describes the chaos America faces after the election of an unlikely candidate. They say art imitates life, but in this case, is art a prophecy? Author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a series of
I want a deep dive of this book. You know, I was actually thinking about naming today's episode Father Spacetime, just because of all this, but I didn't want to glorify Trump in any type of way, especially with all the weirdness towards Israel. With that going on, it makes me just kind of like, okay, like, not sure we should be propping this guy up if he's not actually going to be America first. And, you know, that just makes me America only, just because we can never get what we want. And if we can't ever get what we want, I mean, I just don't see a use for the guy. So, I've been supportive of Trump all up until recent months, but, I mean, I was very much against Trump, probably like, I don't know, probably like 6 to 7 years ago, but he kind of grew on me by the time I think like 2018, maybe 2019. And I started to change my perspective of him, started to listen to other people that were, you know, I guess pro Trump and everything. And a lot of the, I guess, possibility that I was lied to, you know, started to resonate more. And that's what actually kind of made him grow on me. It's like, and then I started paying attention to what he was actually saying. And I was just like, this is so similar to what I want, but do I trust this guy? And I didn't trust him back then, and maybe I'm starting to kind of realize why again. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be measured. I'm trying to make sure that I don't misinterpret things, and I don't know. Become a panican, as he likes to say. You just panic about stupid stuff just because you don't know what actually is going on in the background. Anyways, maybe I'll jump more into that another day. This is interesting. In 2024, a shocking video surfaced of a U.S. Marine claiming the United States was trafficking weapons to the Mexican cartels. The video first surfaced on TikTok on April 22nd, 2024, which featured an unnamed active duty black U.S. Marine speaking from inside a police van.
Listen, man, I'm really on orders. Okay. And you probably don't believe me, and you probably don't even care, and it's okay. But people are getting hurt, and this ties into a whole bunch of stuff. They've been selling our weapons and our fucking military equipment over in Mexico to the cartels. And I've been able to prove that, and that's why I'm supposed to go back to the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, because there's boats, if you ride around in Chula Vista, and go right over there by fucking, what is that called? The industrial plaza, by the Food for Less, and you'll see there's Navy boats that came from the SEAL boat installation that they took out, and they're taking them apart, and they're taking them across the border. All of that stuff is going across the border, and I'm not lying to you, man.
Well, Marine, I wish you all the luck. Semper Fi. I'm a former Marine myself.
We're gonna need a lot more than luck. If those cartel members use that stuff against us, and they are going to use that stuff against us, we're gonna need a lot more than luck.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Godspeed.
Symbol of the black robe. Let's see what this is. Did we never get to watch that video earlier?
Pagemaster came off as a childlike movie, but it's really a setup, okay? This is the chosen child archetype.
Yeah, we watched it, okay.
Secret societies and their use of symbols and emblems in religion, in politics, in philosophy, and incidentally, when you graduate from university, I meant to bring this out. When you graduate from university, you wear a long black robe. The black robe is, of course, the same black robe that the priest wears. Mm-hmm. It's the same black robe that the judge wears, all right? Because the black robe symbolized it goes back to the old Saturnalian cult, which was pre-Egyptian, the worship of Saturn. And according to that ancient Semitic cult, when you got married, you wear the ring. The ring was the ring of Saturn. The women would show their submission to that god by wearing the ear ring. That's where we get the idea of the king being crowned. He wears a round crown or the round circle of the god of Saturn. Saturn, as I said, was assigned the color black, and therefore the black robe is the worship of Saturn, the Saturnalian god.
Damn. I'm learning all kinds of shit. Didn't know anything about the black robe. What is it, society or symbolism? What culture is that from? They said pre-Egyptian. So does that make it like Babylonian? But it says Saturnalian. I don't know. I'll have to look more into that later. Or I could follow the rabbit trail right now. Symbolism will be their downfall.
Do you see what I see?
What the fuck?
When the night into the little land. Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little land. Do you see the little land? Do you see what I see?
What is that little hand symbol that they do? Because I've seen Trump do that too. Oh wait, that's an old video. Let's see, triangle hand symbol. Triangle hand gestures. Sigil of Lucifer? This is his famous upside down triangle showing tip of the spear. It's the opposite of the Kabbalah's pyramid. He flashes this when he's sitting next to Deep State, reversing the curse. The occult symbolism of the triangle. We're all familiar with the triangle symbol, constantly being propped up everywhere we look, whether it be the Egyptian pyramids, occult symbolism, or on stages of Hollywood performances. Let's dive into its true meaning and purpose. Okay. 15 seconds? That's not long enough. That's it? The fudge, dude. Oh, it's a thread. I'm stupid. Say what? There are many aspects to the triangle. As an occult symbol, one meaning is sexual in nature. The triangle pointed up is the male erect phallus, and inverted triangle pointed down represents the female region, and even womb. Yes, these symbols combined create the guitar of Ramphun. There is no mention of a Star of David found anywhere in the Bible. There is one star mentioned. You took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Ramphun. X7 for a 3-pointed star, many triangles. Sided hexagon, equilateral triangles. Within the combined inverted triangles of sexuality and perversion is the Satan cube, Osiris, the Egyptian god, whom is worshipped by this ancient esoteric order, is in fact an archetype of Saturn. Okay. Maybe we're getting somewhere. They go by many names. The Saturnalian death cult is one. Okay. Many have sprung from this body, including the Zionist Jews. Well, shit, dude. Yes, we found them already. Thanks, Red Pill Drifter. I think I've followed you. Let's follow him real quick. Man looks in the abyss. There's nothing staring back at him. At that moment, man finds his character, and that is what keeps him out of the abyss. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, hexagon. Hex, to put a spell or curse. So that's what hexagon will do somehow, some way. I'm still trying to figure out myself, how do these symbols cause any type of magical occurrence to occur? To me, magic is just misinterpreted manipulation, but I'm open to interpretation. I'm open to, seeing something that I haven't seen before. At the same time, half the time it is some type of, what would you call it? I can't think of the analogy right now. So I'm just studying this chart. Let's see, we got a star. We got Star of Ramphun. Who's Ramphun? Let's see who Ramphun is real quick. We're on a journey tonight, y'all. On a super secret, top secret journey. Ramphun is a word mentioned by Saint Stephen at the time of his death in the book of Acts. Who the hell is Ramphun? In the Bible. In the New Testament, Stephen condemns Jewish idolatry. In a following verse, he took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Ramphun. Figures which ye made to worship them, I will carry you away beyond Babylon. In the Greek of the New Testament, it is a mostly word for word quotation of the 3rd century BC. Septuagint's translation of Amos 5:26-27 through 27. Ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, in Shin your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Therefore I will cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus, saith the Lord, whose name is the God of hosts. Context for the abomination is that Amos had been sent to the northern kingdom of Samaria, where Judaism had become syncretic with foreign idolatry, which he declares unacceptable. It is seen as a prophetic reference to Shalmaneser the fifth's, I guess, later capture of the Israelites and taking them into the cities of the Medes. Refin is a rendering of the ancient Greek manuscripts various manuscripts offer other transliterations of this pronunciation, including, I don't know how to pronounce any of that. It is likely a reference to Chiun or Chian mentioned in Amos, which the Septuagint renders as Raphan or Refin. Okay. Is generally assumed to be the god Saturn. Okay. We're getting somewhere with this Saturn god. Saturn, Satan, maybe it's starting to make a little bit more sense now with that term. Let's see, does the word Satan come from Saturn? Let's just see what comes up. Originates from the Hebrew word Satan, which means adversary or opponent. Yeah, there is some interpretation that the Jews don't actually believe in the devil, but whenever you actually look into them further, you start to kind of see that there's deep links between a lot of their symbolism and just really what they stand for. Apparently the Wailing Wall is not even a holy wall, it's like a sexual goddess, I guess probably wall of, I don't know, some type of sexual activity. I won't go into it, I don't want to. I covered a video one night about it and I was just kind of like, ugh, this is gross. The Greek form of the word Santanas appears in the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. It's used in the New Testament, where it is often translated as Satan or the devil. Greek Septuagint typically translates the Hebrew Satan as diabolos, meaning slanderer, which is also translated as devils or demons. Well, some theories suggest a connection to the Egyptian god Seth. This etymology is considered implausible by linguists, as the Hebrew Satan and the Egyptian Set do not share a clear linguistic link, despite both being Afro-Asiatic languages. Okay. The concept of Satan as the chief of evil spirits developed later primarily within Christian tradition and is not present in the original Hebrew text where Satan is a descriptive term. Okay, Christian analysis in Moses and Aaron, 1625. Thomas Godwin claimed Cuyon and the Star of Remphan should be held as separate entities. The first, a reference to the deity Hercules, and the latter, a reference to a painted mark on the forehead of Moloch. In the 18th century, Christian Gottlieb Wolff referenced the belief that the name actually came from ancient Egypt by way of the Ammonites. Is that how you say it? I almost said something different. Tying his worship into the period that Diodorus Siculus history references the king Memphis, possibly Ramses III, beginning a 7-generation decline of Egyptian civilization. The August 1862 edition of the Quiver noted, "The star of your god Remphan is an expression which causes some difficulty. The star is probably the representation of the star of Remphan, which Stephen, with cutting reproach, calls your god. But who or what was Remphan? The fact is, we know but little respecting the false gods worshipped in Syria and Palestine at different times, although the names of many of them have come down to us." Okay. The inverted triangle and union of male and female can be applied to the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. The duality of nature, essentially its karmatic belief system, negative or positive projection of thought and action is put into the universe, hence the revelation of the method within predictive programming. If they show you you don't outright reject it, they are not guilty of the offense since you consented through silence and complacency. This is what they believe and how they operate. This is where desensitization comes into play in order to lull you to sleep. Let's continue. Yeah, it seems to be an interesting practice and also maybe even a spiritual revelation that certain people might try to trick the rules of the universe and or God by subverting God's request upon them. That's one thing that's very interesting about Jews is that a lot of time, I believe it's on their holy days, a lot of times they'll do something kind of weird and subversive to be able to do something that they normally can do. Like they're forbidden from doing certain things on their holy day. So they'll do something subversive and odd so they can get around this particular law of God or, whatever it is that they're trying to respect. And it will allow them to do what they want to do. And there might be something to this. I'm not too sure yet, but maybe there's some type of greater universal law where if you present to your adversary, what you're going to do to them and how you're going to do it, but, outright telling your enemy something like that is very strange and off. So you might just think that they're joking, but that there might be a way to get around, let's just say, God's will or God's law, and they're able to subvert you that way. I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying, that's generally what I'm getting from all of this. I've seen other videos kind of describe similar things where, well, maybe I can bring up his video. He's popped up a few times on X before, and that's what I'm talking about, where I got it from. But I'm trying to remember what that video was about so I could actually pull it up again. The pyramid is the 3D representation of the world's axis, with man's knowledge, esoteric or hidden, enlightenment being at the top, also referred as the illumination, hence the Illuminati, illuminated ones. Notice the rays of light emitting from the capstone, also referencing their god, the light bearer, Lucifer. The pyramid with the all-seeing eye, also called the Eye of Providence, found on your dollar bill, was created by Pierre Eugene du Cimetière in 1776, who also included the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, out of many, one. In other words, out of many nations, one world order. Pyramid of control is imperative to controlling you, where the power is distributed from the top down, and the bottom are the slaves holding up this system willingly with their blood, sweat, and tears. Where are you in this worldwide scheme? Let's see, we got ignorant debt slaves at the bottom, human resource, labor, unit control, government, media, religion, education, world population control, private corporations, world nature resource control, world financial control, global think tanks, rich and powerful subfamilies, subfamily elite, committee of 800, crown council of 13. At the very top, they have a reptilian eye, I guess. I assume that's what that means. So the answer to the reptilians, huh? Is that what you're telling me? Feed the Fire Films, 2011. 2011, geez. In Freemasonry, the triangle is used with a G in the center, the G representing their god, the great architect of the universe. The 32nd degree Mason symbol is composed of two interlocking triangles, forming a six-pointed star.